Hello YouTube family and welcome to episode 11 of the Shed Build. Well, today we're going to be working at buttoning up a number of things. You can possibly already see I've done some of the work, so I'm taping this a little bit afterwards. We're going to be putting in insulation, we're going to be putting in spray foam insulation, we're going to be putting in the soffit, just a number of things to get all of this buttoned up because we have got to get the walls and the loft system put in here because I've got to get this shed functioning as soon as possible. Believe it or not, even though it's about mid-December, not quite yet, it's more towards the front, but the growing season is coming at us like a freight train. Here in Southwest Ohio, we're going to be starting our flower seeds, our seed starts for flowers somewhere around the end of January because they just seem to take a long time to grow. We're going to be starting our sweet potato slips in February, and then possibly into February, beginning of March, we're going to be starting a lot of our tomato seed starts and all of those things. So this shed has to be functioning at a certain level with heat and solar and all of that, at least by the middle of February. And so time's going to run fast and we got to get it done. So let's go ahead and we're going to work on doing some spray foam insulation, and we'll explain why in here in just a moment, as well as getting the soffit and then possibly getting the regular insulation put up in the ceiling because I don't know, it might actually be easier to lie down on the or kneel in the loft and put that up above my head than it would be just to get on a ladder and kind of roll all of that up. But we'll see. So let's go ahead and get these last things accomplished. Our next step is to now take spray foam seal and seal the gaps that are up here between the top plate and the steel roof. Now, some of you are going, well, how come you just didn't buy those foam or wood inserts to fill in those gaps as you were putting on the roof? Good question. The answer is the manufacturer said they had none in stock and they didn't know when they were going to get any back in, and they were probably at least 12 weeks out. My guess is they're probably sitting in a container out in San Francisco Bay somewhere. Who knows? So the alternative is going to have to be taking spray foam, spraying all of that, getting all of those gaps filled in, and then we'll end up taking insulation and putting it up here in the roof. Remember, we need to kind of make this not super tight like a house, but we've got to get it a little tighter than normal because we're going to be doing seed starts in part of the shed out here. So let's go ahead and get the spray foam put up. The inside is all spray foamed as much as I want. Wait for it to expand and cure, and then we'll go back inside and start putting up insulation. Right now, I need to get in my eaves here, and what I'm going to do is just use 1x4s. That's all I got. I don't want to continue to spend more money. It would have been good if I had a nice wide piece of board up at the top to overhang about a half an inch so, or a quarter of an inch, so that the soffit that I put up here would butt up against it rather than butting up against the bottom edge of it. However, I'm going to use what I've got. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my boards to length. You saw me already mark my 16 on center because as I get my board up and I begin to hide these rafters, I just need to know where my nailing point is. So let's go ahead and cut the long boards, and we'll go ahead and start putting these up, see if I can do it by myself and not have to drag one out here. So I just got done measuring the 3 1x4s I have, and it's going to miss by about a half an inch up here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the front edge back, and then I have a scrap piece of 2x4 that it's not thick. I had to cut it off at the edge, and I think I'm going to end up running that on the back edge all the way down and kind of use it as a I don't know, a ledger board in a sense. Again, just trying to use what I have, use it up. When we get it all painted, it will end up looking nice. So let's go ahead and get these up, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, I'm happy with that. I don't have as big of a gap as I thought. I do down towards that end. I'm gonna cut a ledger board, put it up tight against it, and then nail it in this way, possibly with finished nails. And it'll end up getting painted the trim color as well as the soffit here with the trim color. I've nailed everything in on the rafters, and you probably saw me, the boards aren't gonna be necessarily nice and straight as if I had run them through a joiner. And so what I had to do was use a pry bar once I got to the last board, pry them tight together, or what I was doing, if you saw on the video, it was kind of hard to tell on time lapse, but taking my, on the first board, I was taking my clamp that I had arranged to push away this way, and that way I could end up getting the second board tight. And then at times I had to get just the regular clamp and pull it together. But I think I've got the seams pretty good. I might this spring go back and caulk before I paint the trim to maybe make it a little tighter. I definitely am gonna caulk that front edge, make it look nice and smooth with a paintable caulk, and then we'll get all this trimmed up in a darker trim color. Let's go around back now and show you what I'm gonna do next. But right now, what I wanna do is I wanna go ahead and I wanna start putting the insulation up here. We're using, let me flip the camera around here. We're just simply using an R13 single faced roll of insulation. This is probably what I'm going to end up putting not only in the ceiling, but also in the walls. Again, we don't need it everywhere. We'll probably end up insulating this area, insulating the front wall part of the way over, and let me back up here, where we'll end up putting in that other wall, we'll end up insulating there. And I might even insulate the floor of the loft coming over, because remember, this is where we're gonna do all of our seed starts. So we need to make this as energy efficient as we can for a shed. So let's go ahead and get that insulation put up. Shoo! When you're an old man, that's hard. Now I know I had a lot of weight hanging off that roll as I was trying to hold it up, but man, working over your head with your arms at 57, I think I need to work out a little bit more. Well, we'll go ahead and keep trying to get all of this up. I avoided doing the very edges because there's going to be a lot of special cutting and stapling to make it around those things. I'm going to try to measure this so I can pre-cut it. I don't have Lynn up here to hang on to the short end while I crawl up on the high end. She's inside quilting. Figure that for those who know Lynn. And so I'll try to get a measurement so I can pre-cut this. It'll make it a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, I think we are done for this episode. We have gotten the ceiling all nice and insulated and done up nice and tight. We'll probably maybe put some, I don't know, I think I'm gonna put some tape on the seams. The reason why is I have it and it's just sitting there. We'll button up this part here on the sides, and it was funny. It was so warm in here. Let's see if I can get this to, yay. It was so warm in here, we had to open the window and open the door to cool it down. It's about 56 degrees outside. We have no idea how warm it was in here, but it was well over 70. So very happy with how this shed is holding the heat, seeing that the longest side of it faces south. That's south. Well, thanks for joining us on Simple Homesteading today. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We love to continue to grow our online community. Again, thank you for joining us today, and we will get back to you on the next step when we start putting in our wall and our loft.